Hey there, so here's the locomotives I managed to bring over with me this time. There's the two Accelas, one of them's powered, one of them's not. I think it's that one. This is the B&O E7, which I haven't done a review on. This is the SP Southern Pacific E8. This is the Northern Pacific E8, which I painted myself into Northern Pacific livery. This is the Western Pacific EF3, and these are the two Amtrak Genesis locomotives I looked at last time. But this week, or this month, or whenever I release this video, we're going to be looking at these Superliner cars, which are currently stretching under the table. So here we are, there's a better view of them. These are the Walthers, new for this year, chrome-plated Superliner cars, which are in Phase 3 of the Amtrak paint scheme. Phase 3, in case you're wondering, basically is with all the three stripes parallel, and they're equal sizes and everything. Phase 4 is basically the one they've still got today. Phase 1 and 2, I don't remember what those were, but they were kind of similar. Whatever it was, this was always my favourite, because this is the one that was on all the passenger cars when I took the train in 1997. Or was it 99? Who cares? Anyway, that's why I decided to get this one. So I got 5 varieties of cars, and so here we are. There is a coach baggage, there's a Burlington baggage filling in for an Amtrak Rapido baggage, which we'll have a look at in a minute. So it's coach baggage, coach, dining car, lounge cafe, which was personally my favourite one to travel on, because of the good views you get out of it, and then 2 identical sleeping cars. So there's 6 cars in total, but 5 varieties. I may get another sleeping car in the future, because then it'll be a proper length and stuff. So let's have a closer look at them on the table. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to do video just on these 3 Superliners and the baggage today, and then the others we'll save for part 2. So this one's by Rapido, these 3 are Walthers. As you can see, the finish on these is very different. Now what they've done is, this is just a standard spray painted silver car, but these have actually been chrome plated. They're still plastic, they're not brass, but they've just, I think they've only just, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I heard that they'd only just worked out how to do this on a small scale that would be cheap enough to actually release models in them in this kind of nice format, because I think they look absolutely brilliant, and they look at, to be honest, I never thought the silver paint was that bad on HO models. I thought it looked a little bit plasticky on the N scale, but I think this looks absolutely superior to anything I've seen before in this scale, and certainly it's better than paying through the nose to get brass models, because that would definitely set you back a fair amount of money. So okay, here we are. I've got 6 of these in total in the baggage. So first of all, let's look at the baggage. This is by Rapido, and they have done, I think, probably the best HO stuff I've ever seen. They really are doing excellent models at the moment. They've just released, or I think they are just about to release, a full set of the Canadian. They're a Canadian manufacturing company, so it makes sense that their first big streamliner would be the Canadian, complete with a trio of locomotives and about 6 different types of cars, so you can make up the full set. And they've got Vistadomes and pre-installed lighting kits and sort of painted interiors, and just exquisite looking models. They're probably quite expensive though, so just getting the one was fine for me, because I only needed to get the baggage. A little bit of attention on the paint scheme, which I think is very faithfully reproduced, and you can see, you know, it's just a standard sort of paint scheme for a modern car. But where the extra praise comes in for me is the amount of extra detail that they've had to put on, that's obviously separate to the standard moulding process. They've actually had somebody fit all of these little handrails and things that you see on the end. I mean, just the amount of gubbins there is hanging from the back end there, look at that. Little hoses and step ladders and things. The underneath of these models is always just a treat to look at. I mean, look at that. All of the little, I don't even know what those do. I think they're probably little lever systems to get hold of, maybe it's got a water system or some sort of power generator or God knows what. But somebody has gone to a lot of effort to actually make sure they're all in the right place. You might notice it's missing a wheel. Now that is because, unfortunately, this model came with a wheel that wasn't insulated on one side, so basically it shorted out the track anytime I put it on. So I've contacted them and asked them to fix that. Another thing is it's got your standard lighting kit inside, where you just pop it on the top with a little magnet, which has a little magnetic reed switch in here, and that turns on a pair of LEDs which are positioned roughly like that. They have them in all of their passenger cars, and so it means that you're not taking too much current from the track, and you won't sort of blow up your controllers trying to run loads of lighting kits, but they're battery controlled instead. So basically all you need to do is just go dump, 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 dump all along the train, and they'll all turn on. And it's a very impressive thing to see done. I've only got the one in here and two others, which have unfortunately sort of stopped working now. So anyway, that's the baggage car. The other thing is that the doors do actually open, so if you want to set up a nice little diorama, they are also magnetically controlled, as you might be able to see inside there. There is actually a little magnetic strip. See, that's that bit reflecting in there. That is the magnet, and you basically, rather than needing to fiddle around as I'm doing, you can actually just pull it back with the magnet, which is brilliant. So, on to the first car. This is a coach baggage, which is generally just a kind of, basically, if you don't know, Superliners, the whole idea is that you're supposed to be higher up from the track, so there's actually less noise and it's supposed to be a more comfortable ride. That's the whole point. And then the views are better, because you can generally see over most of the rest of the gubbins that's lying by the track. And it's particularly impressive when you're going through very nice scenic areas like Northern California or you know, the middle of the desert somewhere. You know, anywhere like that. It's a really fantastic way to travel. I would know, because I've done it once when I was a kid, and that's what got me interested in Amtrak particularly. So yeah, these basically that's why the doors are all at the top, because you basically don't need to spend much time on the bottom floor. You just walk along the top, just enjoying the views. So yeah, the bottom floor of this one is all baggage space, which is handy for lots of passengers. Basically, if you want, if you want to travel on one of these trains, you just basically buy a seat, and then if you want to actually, if you're going to be on the train long enough to use a sleeper room, then you can buy a sleeper room separately. But that can get expensive, so you're best doing that for a sort of holiday type thing. Now, these two little dots either side of the door there, those are marker lights, which you can actually fit to be lighted up red, which is what they're supposed to be. And it just sort of designates the end of the train, I guess. So I think you can get inside it somehow and do it. As far as the model's concerned, it's beautifully done. You can just see how much it shines there. It looks like real, proper stainless steel, shot welded stainless steel. I'm not sure how the shot welding process works. I think it involves basically sending a bolt of electricity down the car to get it to set just right. I'm not really very well versed in exactly how it's manufactured. But these were built, I think, by Bombardier or the American Car Foundry, one of those companies. Anyway, I particularly like the stripes along here. I think it's a really striking sort of paint scheme. That's why I've always liked Superliners. I think actually the current paint scheme doesn't look quite so good. They just look like big hunks of metal, whereas these really make them look smart and very American, obviously. Americans, it's got to be, you know, anything red, white and blue like that. It just screams kind of, you know, US of A. But that's great, because I've always loved that paint scheme. So yeah, the interior detail is really nice. You can just about If I hold it like that, you can just about get a glimpse of what it looks like inside. I'm going to get inside all of these and give them a good going over and give them paint and figures and lighting and everything, just as I've done with many of my other models. So yeah, there's the coach baggage. Here's a coach, very similar again, except this time the bottom floor is open and you can have seats and stuff in there. Very similar looking one. So there's not a lot to say about that I couldn't say about the previous one, so I'll just put it straight down. And here we are, the final one for this video, which is the dining car. And now this one is basically where you'll have all your meals on the train, and what they do is, because obviously they've only got a limited number of tables, but they have got loads and loads of passengers, is they'll call you kind of in hourly groups. So you have a guy who comes along and says, last call for the dining car, and you go in and you get fed. It's a really, really, probably one of the best places I've ever eaten in my life, because the food is great. Basically the whole bottom floor here is all galley, and that's where they prepare the food. They get fresh stuff brought in wherever they stop that morning, and they've got refrigeration systems so they can keep stuff fresh for a day or so. But yeah, they come up a separate little staircase which is inside here, and they can deliver it straight to the tables. So they don't need to be running around. Some trains have had separate galley cars and dining cars, and you always get a bit of a bottleneck in the vestibule at the end. What I particularly like about the way they've modelled this is not only have they actually gone inside and done a special... Yeah, there we are. Not only have they gone inside and done a special interior, but they've actually gone to the trouble. This is what is amazing about manufacturing now, is they've actually gone to the trouble of modelling the little drinks and plates on the table. Can you believe that? That is absolutely astounding, considering where the hobby was at when I started messing around with it when I was about 6 or 7. Just the amount of detail that's coming out on these models now is absolutely incredible. I'm sure Will would testify to that as well, given his recent Class 56 video. The amount of detail that modelers are putting on these things now, and for relatively cheap price as well. So you can imagine just rolling along through the desert or mountain scenery and looking out, having a bit of pork or a pizza or meat or a salad, or God knows what you're eating, but it's just the most fantastic place to have a meal. So that concludes part 1. Join me in part 2 for the rest of the train. See you next time.